pole, totem 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 pole.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere.
Hello, everybody. Recording live from somewhere. This is Totem Pole Nation, the low man on the totem pole, Life Lessons Podcast. Coach Jay Freeman, Seattle, Washington. Coach Troy Taylor, Richmond, Virginia. We're talking about the defensive ghosts today. ESPN's list. Coach Jay Freeman and me, we're just talking about their youth football coaches clinic they had last night out in Seattle, Washington. Tell us a little bit about that, Coach Jay Freeman. Justin Boxing. I saw a Muhammad Ali painting. I had no money, but I saw it yesterday. You can go to the live stream. I saw it up in Northern Virginia. This is for you, Justin. Totem Pole Reed wanted to know next time I was at that mall, would I buy him something? And I said, yeah, sure, thanks, man. And he said, are you being sarcastic or is that a no? Like, dude, I just bought you a $40 Funko Pop and a $20 Funko Pop. You must think I actually got money. But I love Coach Jay Freeman. You're the best. How are you feeling, Jay, about your coach's clinic and today?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Well, there's a little bit of distortion. That's all right.
Well, I got my headphones on. Let me see here. Hold on 1 second, Coach.
It sounds like when you have those headphones on, it sounds like a frog about every 5 seconds. It sounds like Lambo's on there.
Well, what about this? Is this better? Does this sound better, Coach? That sound clear?
Check.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
Shit, I don't know. How about that? Is that bad?
That's
worse,
good.
anybody.
Sounds like we're ready to go, yeah. That sounds good.
Sound is a pain.
That's the best. Go ahead.
All right, that's the AirPods.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right now.
All right, brother. Well, listen, you asked me about the youth football. Well, here's the thing about the youth football. We had about 45 coaches show up, all ages. And it was great. We did about an hour of offense, an hour of defense. And I got to sit there and chime in about, defensive structure and offensive line and defensive line. It was great. And I was telling you, Troy Taylor, I filmed the whole thing. And what that is for me going back to Bill Walsh days, Bill Walsh would say, film everything you do. So that way, when you get a new coach in the fold, you don't have to recreate the wheel all the time.
Yes. Justin Boxing said, laugh out loud. Justin Boxing, you are the best. I love that YouTube symbol. That YouTube symbol is awesome. I'm going to keep that up there, man.
Hey, you know what's cool, Coach Troy Taylor, is we got so many people on here from Totem Pole Nation that have their own live streams and they want their own content creator.
Yeah.
DCL was asking me about being on their stream the other day.
Wow, DCL wanted you to come on.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Justin Boxing said best sports YouTube channel. Justin Boxing. You're amazing, Justin Boxing.
We appreciate you, Justin. That's awesome.
Yes. And I came over here. Take a look at this. You shouldn't look at this. Look at what I got.
What is all that, donuts?
Yeah, that's s'mores, bacon, maple. That's
oh
baby
my
Ruth.
Goodness.
That's Fruity Pebbles. That's red velvet, and that's Samoa. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at this.
Oh my goodness. That's like heaven in a box.
Oh man, heaven or the other place. I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
Brian Eggleston. Brian Eggleston said, "Oh, my breakfast." Brian Eggleston, this is, I'll take it, baby Ruth. That baby Ruth is unbelievable, man. Shout out to Sugar Shack. When I used to coach at Virginia Union, I could eat a dozen. I ate a dozen before, dude.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Hey,
Sad.
the maple and the bacon, though. The maple and the bacon is a different level, bro.
Yeah.
That's I can't even explain it.
They were the first people to do it around here, man. People were like, "What? You got bacon on a donut? Well, don't you eat pancakes and bacon and syrup? Like, why would it not be good?"
Oh, it's so good. That's what they used to call the Oprah. That's Oprah's favorite.
Oprah?
Oprah's favorite.
I like Oprah. Who we got there? Is that Brandon Toms?
What's up, dog?
Brandon Toms coming live from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Do y'all have one of these places in Rock Hill?
No,
As you can see, I think is there 2 missing there or 3? I think there might be. I don't know how many it is. I'm not keeping track.
I know it's gonna be there's gonna be another one.
There is a donut shop.
Look at
There's
that.
There's gonna be another one missing in a minute.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Shout out to Sugar Shack. Brandon Toms, long time no see. My great friend, Brandon Toms. Talk a little bit about that first time that you hooked up with Totem Pole Nation. You met Lambo in a airplane in Nashville. Did you have any clue what you were getting into?
No, I didn't. So, yeah, we went to Nashville for the AFCA clinic. Met there, kind of at an airport. I knew Coach Taylor from coaching when I was at Dinwiddie. Met him at the airport. Didn't know who Lambo was. Slept on a bench for 3 days in Nashville. Great time.
He slept on a bench.
Great time.
In the room. Gator, what's up? Gator, you are the best. Gator, you are what this country is all about. You are what Totem Pole Nation is all
Gator
about.
is in the house.
And I think that Brandon Toms is on here today because he's a little fired up. He's a little fired up about the ESPN defensive goats at every position. Are you not, Brandon Toms?
Yep, I am fired up about it. See what the media thinks. I might not agree with it, but we'll see what they say.
Yes. Now, Coach Jay Freeman's checking in from Seattle, Washington. I think it's about 4:30 over there. 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, 4:30. Yes. And everybody else's, there's 4 time zones. And Lambo's, there's 3. And they said it's depending on where you are in the time zone to which one you're in. So it's 4:30 over there. And I'm heading home so I can get in front of my computer and I can pull up this list. But Brandon Toms, let Totem Pole Nation know what you've been up to the last couple weeks because you moved back to South Carolina and away from Dinwiddie County.
Yeah, so I moved, was in Dinwiddie for 2 years, moved back closer to home. I'm coaching at Rock Hill High School in Rock Hill, South Carolina, Football City, USA.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Fired up about the move, but not fired up about going to all these new teacher meetings.
Oh, man. New teacher meetings. Are you already started your new teacher meetings?
Yeah, we had yesterday and today. Yesterday I was in meetings until from literally 8:30 to 4 o'clock. Today it looks like the same schedule. Then I move into my apartment around 4 or 4:30. Practice, and then I got to be at work tomorrow. Then practice starts on Friday.
I smell one of those bacon and maple donuts calling my name, man.
And the donuts look good, dude.
One of those bacon maple ones are calling my name, dude. I can smell it.
Look good.
I
I'm
need to
not gonna
make a hot
lie.
coffee. See, we don't drink coffee by the cup. We drink it by the pot. We have professional coffee makers. We don't mess around.
You got a move coming up here too soon, right?
Well, yeah. Our first coaching meeting is August 7th.
Got you.
Kids moving in August 12th. I'm supposed to have a bed to sleep in. So,
Time to get fired up, dog. It's time to roll. Fired up. We lost Troy Taylor. Chat, what are y'all up to here this morning? Thanks, Harold. We all know, but it'll be okay. It'll be all right, man. I appreciate you commenting. Thanks. So we'll work on that maybe during football season.
I lost you. I told those guys last night when I met them with them on Zoom, I said, you guys wouldn't be here. Harold Hicks, you need to lose weight, dog. Actually, Harold Hicks, thank you for commenting. And we like ourselves the way we are because these skinny people are running around here dying of heart attacks. These skinny people are running around here, and when they get sick, they ain't got no weight to lose. So here you go. This is what you should eat for breakfast. That's a Samoa, that's a red velvet, and a Fruity Pebbles. But I think this bacon and maple's calling my name. There's your Baby Ruth. There's your s'mores. This is from Thank You Sugar Shack. Shout out to Sugar Shack. You didn't sponsor us. You didn't give me. But look at these things. These are delicious. They are delicious. All right, so I'm going to walk up here and get my coffee cup. If it's still up here. We have officially moved out of the studio.
There you go.
We have officially. Did you see the boxing gloves that I got?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you're not going to believe this. Okay, so check this one out. Now, this ain't exactly Howard Shotsky said that this was not. There he is, Howard. Howard Shotsky said that this one was not in good condition, which he is correct. Brandon Toms, whose signature is this?
I can't read it, dog.
I can't either. I'm an idiot. It took me 2 hours. It's Floyd Mayweather Jr., dude.
Oh, wow.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. That one's real.
Wow.
All right, which one? What about the Joe Frazier? Howard, do we think the Joe Frazier is real?
Yeah, I do.
We think the Joe Frazier's real.
I told you, the only one I have doubts about is the Tyson.
Mike Tyson, we think this one may be forged. Mike Tyson. Coach Jay Freeman says, morning, Totem Pole Nation, and St. Pete Rejuvenate.
Oh, by the way, I got a message for Harold.
For who?
Harold Hicks.
Harold Hicks, yes.
Go fuck yourself, Harold.
Oh, hey, see, look, you're complaining about a mess? Look at this. This is my studio. Look at this.
Hey.
Now, this one right here, my buddy told me this one is not real because he's an expert.
Harold's trying to hit me in my weak spot. Well,
he was actually talking about me.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If someone needs to lose weight, they're probably well aware of that.
Yes.
They don't need a reminder.
My dad told me, Troy, here's what you say to them when they tell you that you're fat. I'm fat and you're ugly. At least I can do something about mine.
That's true.
Yes.
But here's what I said.
Yes.
Harold Hicks, fuck you again.
Hey, see, you just told me not to respond to the trolls, but I like the energy that you're bringing today.
Yeah, but if you're going to come at me about my weight, I'm going to say something.
Yeah, but I don't think he was talking about you, Howard.
No.
Give
He
shit.
commented when it was just me in here.
Yeah, he did, but whatever.
Yeah, but you're not going to let someone pick on your friends. You're not going to let someone pick on your friends, are you, Howard?
No, I'm not. We may have to do my collection tomorrow, though, because I am exhausted.
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you what happened. After you left,
Yeah.
you noticed I didn't answer your text message when you got home.
Yeah, what happened?
I fell asleep on the couch. So
For the rest of the night?
No, well, here's the problem. I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
now you've slept from 8 to 1:30. That's like 5.5 hours.
Yes, that happens to me all the time.
So then I go upstairs and I'm like, it's 1:30 in the morning. I got a dentist appointment today at 11. So I was like, if I stay up, I am going to be exhausted. I am not going to want to go to the dentist. I got to try to go to sleep.
Yes.
So I go up and I was able to get in another like 4 hours or so, but shit, I've been up since like 5:30.
Yes.
Then I was waiting for this, so I know I must have fell asleep again on the couch.
Let's see here. We got a lot of comments, man. We got our man Gator, Laugh Out Loud, Coach Taylor, Justin Meyer, all right, Sheik. If you are really a Sheik, you would not be asking me for money. All right, trust me. Coach Jay Freeman, Morning Totem Pole Nation.
Yeah, I'll be wiring that money to you this afternoon. You can look for it in your bank account.
Yes, and I actually need you to send me 100 so I can send you 1,000. So send me 100, and then I'll send you 1,000. The Russells, globe is a lie. Level water always. Gas needs a container always. Space is fake. We're all getting lied. Hey, Russells, I got some good advice from a great friend yesterday. He told me, don't read the comments from the trolls. And he told me, Troy, don't talk too much. So I'm not getting into all these conspiracy theories. Everything is a lie. And we're moving on. Justin Boxing, Laugh Out Loud. Gator, coming us about each other's weight is a bad mistake. Ooh. Gator's fired up today. MK, hello, just popping in. I have school, so I have to get ready. MK, welcome back. MK, Brandon Toms, how do you feel about MK and seeing her on here?
She's always here. Love the energy she brings. She's literally on every video, every time we go.
MK is in the house.
MK is in the house. All right, let me pull my computer up. Hold on.
Brandon, where do you live?
I live in Rock Hill, South Carolina right now.
Okay.
Just moved. I was in Dinwiddie County for the last 2 years, but just moved to Rock Hill.
I've represented some players that are from that area.
Who's that?
I can't remember, but I know the name. That's
Ben
how
Coates?
Number one pick in the 2012 draft was Dion Clowney, right here from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Played at South Point High School.
Yeah. Howard wouldn't be talking to us right now if he had Clowney.
And
long-time NFL cornerback Stephon Gilmore, also from South Point High School in Rock Hill. Cordell Patterson's from Northwestern in Rock Hill.
Now wait a minute. Did Gilmore go to Penn State?
No, Gilmore went to South Carolina, and then I want to say, trying to remember who drafted him. Can't think off the top of my head right now.
Gilmore is the running back.
No, Stephon Gilmore, the corner, played for the Patriots forever.
Yeah, Patriots.
Yeah.
ESPN
Patriots,
top.
the Cowboys, the Panthers. He's played for a bunch of different teams now.
ESPN top defensive players at every position. All right, let me get on here with my. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get on here with my computer.
Yeah, so in Rock Hill, bunch of athletes, bunch of ballers. So,
golf. Let me add. We got a lot of comments. Grandpa VR. Hey, Troy. Grandpa VR. Love you, man. Glad you're here. This is for you, Grandpa VR. Coach Jay Freeman, welcome to Howard and Grand Top. Rest Total is having a great Wednesday morning. And Justin Boxer said wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. He was ranked 20th overall on the 2024 players. All right, let me share my screen.
Well, fellas, I got about 2 minutes till I got to go to new teacher training.
Well, let's get this thing going. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. And Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. All right, here we go. First on the list, Totem Pole Nation, returner / special teamer.
Better be
Devin Hester.
100%. I agree with that one.
Yes, 20 out of 50, and you're a special teams expert.
Well, if it
He
wasn't,
had 156 games, 15 punt returns.
if it was, and you know who I think number 2 is?
David Meggett.
Nope. Remember a guy
Dion?
named Mel Gray?
Yes. You got Dion Sanders at 6 votes, Gale Sayers at 5 votes, Brian Mitchell at 3 votes, Matthew Slayer at 3 votes, Steve Tasker at 3 votes, Desmond Howard at 1. No one has ever claimed Desmond Howard was the best at anything in pro football.
No, but
all right, Gator, I'll be back, fellas.
Steve Tasker was a tremendous gunner. He should be higher up on the list. And leaving Mel Gray off the list completely is
blasphemy.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Grandpa VR said, I know I just come in, but I'm going to go. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day. Grandpa VR, you are the best. So, as our resident special teams expert, Brandon Toms, how do you feel about Devin Hester being the GOAT returner?
I agree with it. Devin Hester, all-time great as a kick returner. Didn't do much at other positions, but he found his spot and made the most of it. He is now a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Which he
Yes, he should. So, right. Howard, you got anything else you want to say about this one other than Mel Gray should be on here?
No, I mean, Brandon said it all, really. Devin Hester had speed. He had courage. You're playing on special teams and you're a return guy. You got 11 guys running full speed who want to kill you. So, as one of my former clients says, to be a return guy, you got to have a little something wrong with you.
Hey, Totem Pole Nation, Troy Taylor and Howard Shosky. Every time I try to get on, it's a stream that's ended.
Troy, that's the guy I want to try to get on the stream. The problem is he starts work at like 4 in the morning. So he's already at work when we're streaming. But
who is that?
Vernon Turner, who had the first punt ever returned by a Buccaneer for a touchdown.
Wow.
I'm trying to get him to come on with us.
Oh, that'd be great.
This would have been a good one if we were going over special teams players.
Yes. All right, Jay Freeman, I'm sending you the link.
And since we were worried about Mel Gray when we signed him with the team. Believe me, he would know firsthand how good Mel Gray was.
All right, so kick returner, they got Devin Hester.
Well, fellas, I got to roll.
You're pressing on the wrong link then, Jay. You're pressing on an old link.
Kicker punter, Adam Vinatieri. He got 22 out of 50 votes. 44%. The other kickers that were mentioned were Justin Tucker got 21. Ray Guy only got 1. I mean, no one can argue that Vinatieri, but what about Jankowski? I mean, Jankowski was great, but I mean, to put Ray Guy, he's the only kicker that's in the Hall of Fame, is he not?
Yep.
Ray Guy was the best punter there ever was. And I'm telling you right now, no offense to Adam Vinatieri, but Justin Tucker should have that top spot.
Wow.
I don't think Justin Tucker's not done yet. Once he's done, I think you can evaluate his whole career, and he might be better than Vinatieri. But right now, I think Vinatieri's the guy.
I would rather have the greatest punter of all time than the greatest kicker of all time.
Yes, because field position is tremendously important in football.
That it is. Well, fellas, I got to roll. This new teacher training is about to start.
Thank you, Brandon Toms. Brandon Toms, Shay Freeman Brandon Toms, are you on Facebook, the Line Play Brotherhood?
No, I'm not.
Well, you need to join because you're a D-line guy.
Yep. I would join that after all these meetings today.
Yes,
Appreciate y'all. See you. Holler at y'all later. Y'all have a good day.
You have a good day, Brandon.
Justin Box and wide receiver Jerry Rice. I can't see your camera. Yeah. It's because we got Adam Vinatieri's picture up here, and all the women would rather look at Adam Vinatieri than me. All right, so we're trying to trick the YouTube algorithm. Coach Shay Freeman. Devin Hester was the returner. Vinatieri is the kicker. How do you feel about those picks?
Yeah, I like it pretty good. Devin Hester, pretty great player out of the U. Vinatieri, Mr. Clutch. You know, I don't know if there's ever been another guy quite as clutch as him. I heard Howard saying he'd rather have the best punter. And
that was Troy.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, my bad. The thing about punters, you guys, is you know, like nothing affects vertical field position more. And at some point, it is a game of field position. That's really important. Hey, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you guys have coffee stands in? Hey, wonderful. Do you guys have coffee stands out there where you live?
No.
Virginia.
Someone would rob the stand out here. And Justin Boxing says, "I hear a frog, Jay." There's
hold on.
You have there's like a sound effect coming from those iPod things. Ugh. It sounds like ugh.
All right, I'll pause it. Hold on just a minute.
Yeah, I told him about that earlier, Justin, but we don't know why it's happening. Man, I love to see Howard Shotsky's face when he's trying to see who's going to be next on this list. I mean, he's excited, dude. Look at this. The greatest safety of all time, Ronnie Lott, the San Francisco 49ers, got 27 out of 50 votes, 54%. He's an NFL Hall of Famer in 2000. NFL Pro Bowl selections 10, 192 games, 63 interceptions, 8.5 sacks. The other safeties that got votes, Ed Reed with 15, Brian Dawkins with 4, Paul Krause with 2, Troy Polamalu with 2. Ronnie Lott, Howard Shotsky. Do you have a Ronnie Lott autograph?
No, I don't.
Would you like to have one?
Tremendous play.
Hey, nobody did it better, man. That's for sure.
Diggs BTW. Hey, what's up? I didn't know anybody watched this on Twitch.
I think they got this one right. I like all the guys they listed too.
Coach Jay Freeman, I'm gonna get me a
Yes,
cup
sir.
of coffee. What do you think about Ronnie Lott?
Although I got one that I think should at least be on the list. How about Steve Atwater?
Well, there's no doubt about it, Howard, that Steve Atwater out of Arkansas, 6'3", 217-pound thumper, he basically took Christian Okoye, who had been running roughshod over the league with Marty Schottenheimer's offense, and it was actually a combo of Barry Word and Christian Okoye running over everybody. Well, Christian, for you that don't know, Okoye was 6 foot, 260 pounds, and run a 4.48 out of Zuzu Pacific by way of Nigeria, and he was running roughshod over the whole league. Well, what happened was Atwater came down and thumped him. And that was pretty much the end of the Nigerian nightmare. Would you agree, Howard?
And Atwater was the first of the big safeties, and then everybody looked for safeties of that size.
Well, the other guy that comes to mind, Howard, I don't mean to step on your words, brother, because you're so smart and so full of information, is this. How about David Fulcher? Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Was that a Cincinnati Bengal? And then thank you.
From Cincinnati.
That was another big one. There was one that played for the Dolphins for a little while, and he was out of Florida. His name was Louis Oliver.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I used to always, yes, sir. I used to always look at one identifier at one point for DBs, and it was when they had the 44 number by their name. Hey, thank you so much. You too, sweetheart. Here you go. Have a great day. Anyway, listen, I'm sorry about that, guys. So Ronnie Lott, you guys, when I think about Ronnie Lott, I think USC, Southern Cal, I think a great amount of pride. He was a black belt in martial arts, and everybody always wants to talk about his commitment to the game. Well, you know, the classic story, and I don't want to steal somebody's thunder, but the classic story says, I got my pinky caught in somebody's Space Master in a game, and the training staff said, "Oh, brother, we better split this up because, you know, you don't want to lose the end of your pinky."
Well, he lost that finger.
Yeah, well, he amputated it during a game.
Yep, I was wondering if somebody else was going to remember that story other than.
Hey, the time I remembered Paul from Seoul and Troy Taylor and amazing Howard Shatsky and the rest of Totem Pole Nation, the time I knew that the football was changing was when somebody had traded Ronnie Lott to the Jets.
Now, let me tell you what's amazing. What's amazing is the wealth of football knowledge that Coach Jay Freeman has.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Howard. You're wonderful.
I don't get impressed by many people's football knowledge.
Thank you, Howard. You make me really happy when you say that because it's been a life's work, buddy.
Jay,
it's been a life's work.
Jay, you're usually right on the nose, buddy.
Well, thank you, Howard. I appreciate it. But hey, listen, when they traded him to the Jets, and I was sitting there at my beautiful girlfriend's mom's house, and we're watching the football game, and he comes down and does one of his old patented woo licks. Remember, that's what they call it, woo lick, baby. Because when he hit somebody, the whole crowd went woo, right? Kind of like a Ric Flair, right? But he came and cracked somebody, and it was a penalty. Somebody threw a penalty flag. And I said, wait. What do you mean? Ronnie just came and cleaned up the receiver, and you threw a 15-yard penalty? And that's when I knew that the way you could come down and tackle people had changed. You know what I mean? Ronnie Lott was a force, brother. He was a force. Hey, one more guy he took the whole one more guy he stole his soul from, like Goggins talks about, was what? Ickey Woods, baby. Ickey Woods in the Super Bowl. And what happened? He came down and stroked Ickey Woods, and there wasn't no more Ickey shuffle, man. It was over with.
Man from Seoul, how do you feel about Ronnie Lott at safety over Ed Reed with 50? Ronnie Lott got 27 votes. Ed Reed got 15. Brian Dawkins got 4. Paul Krause got 2. Troy Polamalu got 2. How do you feel, man from Seoul, about the one and only Ronnie Lott, who originally was a corner and converted to safety?
Well, that's pretty. I mean, that's really good. I especially going up against all the guys from the modern day generation, because I mean, I don't know who's voting here again. With all these websites, and I don't know if you're using PFF or what, but you know, a younger crowd, a younger crowd of folk. Like I just think about my kids of who they would vote for. They wouldn't even put Lot on the ballot. So you know, it changes with the seasons, but it just depends on who's doing the rankings, and that's very unfortunate, you know, because I think you're probably going to need people from across all decades to do the voting. But Ronnie Lott there is spot on. I think you could ask the other guys, and they would agree because he brought it.
At corner, Neon, Dion, Primetime, Coach Prime, the most nicknames of all time, Sanders. He earned 32 out of 50 votes at corner. He had 188 games, 53 interceptions. Charles Woodson got 5 votes. Rod Woodson got 5 votes. Darrell Reed got 4 votes. Chan Bailey won, Mel Blount won, Mike Haynes won, Night Train Lane won. Dion Sanders, number 1 corner of all time. The GOAT, the NFL GOAT, according to ESPN. GOATs at every NFL position. Coach Jay Freeman, he is from North Fort Myers, Florida, correct?
Yes, sir.
Neon, Dion, Primetime, Coach Prime, most nicknames of all time, Sanders. Jay Freeman, do you remember Neon Dion in his prime?
Oh, yeah. One of my guys, I'm weird sometimes because sometimes if I'm bored, I watch old college football. That's one of my favorite things to watch. Is I'll go back and I'll watch 1987.
Justin Boxon says he's Colorado's coach. That's exactly right, Justin Boxon. Great job. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. Lambo took his job on NCAA, that's for sure.
Yes, Fantasyland.
But anyway, primetime Neon. He was a credible player. And at Florida State, I like to watch the game where he played against Michael Irvin in 1987. Because that was the national championship game, right? That was the game that decided, and it came down to that one matchup between Neon Dion and Michael Irvin for all the titles back in college, right? I mean, guys, the thing people forget about Dion was this. I think that was more of a. That was something that kind of came on him later in life, and he was never a bad. He would challenge you right now, and he would say, "I'm not a bad tackler. I'm not a soft tackler." Like he would tell you that, and he
walks on water. He will also tell you that he heals the sick, and he can make the blind see. But Moose and I went for a good morning from Yonkers, New York again, boys. Moose, this is for you. Justin Boxon says, welcome, Moose. Jay Freeman, Neon Dion, Primetime, Coach Colorado Prime, Sanders. You say he's the best corner of all time.
I would agree. I mean, I like Rod Woodson a lot too. Rod Woodson to me is a little more like Ronnie Lott, a little more athletic though. But the guys, the thing about Neon is this. Let me tell you one Neon story. He has a limo, and I'm sure Howard could tell you about this. He has a limo waiting for him at the combine, right? And he runs. What does he run? 140, not 2. And then he runs a time, and everybody's shaking their head. Right? People are looking at the watch, and he goes right out the door, right in the limo, and leaves. because I think he ran like a 4.17 or something, or I don't even know what it was. It was crazy, right? The other thing about this guy is this. Like we were talking about special teams earlier. We mentioned, the great gunner from Buffalo and different people. Hey, this was a guy when he was a punt returner. That's how he started changing the game, right? Before there was Devin Hester, right? There was Dion Sanders, right? And I heard the coach mention Mel Gray from Detroit, whatever, Detroit Lions or whatever. But I'm saying this was the guy that could change the game at any minute. And Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson or Barry Switzer or whatever it was, and San Francisco, when they put him on offense, all they were doing was maximizing their chances to win, right? Because I think if you compared the idea of the amount of balls he picked and the amount of times he ran it back, I mean, that's instant offense. And think about it, it was probably the first shutdown corner in history, right? As far as modern era. I'm going to take away your best player. All right, what do you think, guys? You think I'm whistling Dixie or what? What's going on?
I want to ask man from Seoul, why is Rondé Barber not on this list?
And my answer would be next slide. Anyway, Dion Sanders. Dion Sanders and Jordan. The other guys are just the modern day goats, like Richard Sherman and all those guys. I'm the best corner in the game, but none of them, not even Darrelle Revis, would ever utter the words Dion Sanders out of their mouth because they know they're gonna get it. So they don't even play that. So that's when you know he's the guy. He's Jordan of corners. Don't even say my name. You can say you're the best right now in the game, but when you say my name in a sentence with your name, you're in trouble. Yeah. You're in trouble.
He's the prototype. He's not small. Howard Shotsky, is he the prototype?
Best ever.
Neon Dion prime time stand. All right, this one's going to get a little controversial right here.
Yeah.
Linebacker Ray Lewis got 23 out of 50 votes. Dick Butkus got 13. Mike Singletary got 4. Jack Lambert got 3. There's Ted Hendricks 2, Chuck Bednarik 1, Derek Brooks 1, Bill George 1, Ray Nitschke 1, Junior Seau 1. I'll be willing to say this. There's 2 guys from his era that is better than Ray Lewis. And I like Ray, and I loved his son, Ray Ray. But I'll take Derek Brooks and Junior Seau over Ray Lewis. And I'm not even getting into, it's almost blasphemy that Dick Butkus and Ray Nitschke, those guys were animals. Rebecca, I'm in the house. Justin, Sanders or Jerry Rice? I'm taking Sanders. This is for you, Rebecca. All right, I'm going to defer to the man from Rockville, Maryland. Howard Shotsky. Is Ray Lewis the GOAT?
I got one question.
Yes.
Not one vote for Lawrence Taylor?
Well, I think they got him at edge. I think they have him at outside linebacker.
Oh, okay.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I'm stay with Ray at number 1 then.
Wow. Ray at number 1 from the guy from Rockville, Maryland, via North Jersey. Rebecca said, I just woke up. Man from Seoul, Ray Lewis, number 1.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to watch Mike Singletary and all those guys, but I'm telling you right now, as far as size, speed, impose your will, sideline, I got to go with Ray Lewis, man. I mean, Dick Buck, all those names, dude, they have their names on awards. They are monsters. But I'm talking 53.5 yards coverage. That was the guy, man. I just never seen anyone do it better from not even Junior Seau, Derek Brooks. No, they're not on his level when it comes to sideline play. I mean, he was literally, you put him in the middle, and I mean, you could play 7 DBs because he's got the run game, sideline to sideline.
Coach Jay Freeman, I know you're a big Junior Seau fan, but Dick Butkus, dude, I've had people that were from Florida tell me that Ray Lewis was not physical.
Yeah, well, hold on, guys. Guys, I'm excited by this topic, y'all, because, hey, Paul from Seoul and Howard and Troy and the rest of the whole nation, I spent my whole life studying this topic. And I don't mean just putting my toe in the kiddie pool. I've been studying the topic, okay? So Ray, I mean, I call Ray, but that's what I call him. Sugar Ray Lewis, Lakeland, Santa Fe High School. Guys, sometime remind me to show you a great picture. My freshman roommate at Furman University football was a linebacker from Orlando, Florida, and he showed me a photo when we were freshmen together. I might have been stealing his cologne. He had nice cologne, and I was stealing some of it, trying to go see a beautiful woman. And he had a picture of him getting pinned in the state finals of 189. You feel me? In wrestling. And he was getting pinned, and the guy had his chin all up on his chest. Paul, you know what I'm talking about? When they pin you and they kind of use their chin a little bit, kind of disrespect. Like, I'm gonna put my chin on your ass. When I was talking to him. I said, "Hey, buddy." Why in the hell you let the guy pin you like this with the chin? Well, you know what I found out? You know who was pinning him? Ray Lewis. Okay. Now listen. Hey, Ray Lewis. Now, hey, so I had an amazing thing. I was working a football camp for linemen a long time ago in Lakeland, Florida. It's called Down and Dirty Football Camp. And I was blessed because I was a high school coach, the high school D-line coach, and I was working with a bunch of college coaches. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a blessing to me. And they blessed me at the end. They told me, they said, "Man, you are just as good as we are." And I said, "Thank you, sir." But the point was, my roommate was Bernard the Tiger Clark.
I love him.
He was a hell of a middle linebacker. Excuse me?
It sounded like somebody's GPS was telling them where to go.
All right. So anyway, real quick, he was my roommate for that time, and I was a fan as well as a roommate because he was the guy that replaced George Meyer Jr. at middle linebacker for Miami and kind of preceded. I want to say he came right before. I'm striking out on who followed him, but he was part of that great middle linebacker tradition.
Jesse Armstead.
No, Jesse was outside. Jesse was from Dallas Carter High School. Michael Barrow was the next great one who played for the Giants and the Houston Oilers. But there's been a tradition of middle linebacker at Miami, okay? And that really started not with Ted Hendricks. That's more of an outside guy too. But it started really with
Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan's another one. Yeah, Howard. I took a video of Coach Jay Freeman's audio and sent it to him. And I said, "Dude, this is the distortion." Jay,
hold on, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I got a phone call and I
That's all right.
I thought it was you and I answered. I apologize. Anyway, guys, let me cut to the chase. I don't mean to be long-winded because this is important. I asked Bernard Tiger Clark. We were driving to the 7-Eleven. We were driving to the little store to get peanuts and soda pop or whatever the hell we wanted for snacks, Gatorade. And I said, "Hey, brother, let me talk to you about your buddy Ray Lewis." And I said, "Talk to me about him." I said, because here's the thing. Let's understand something. There's linebackers that you got to keep clean and protected from offensive linemen, and there's linebackers that can shed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ray Lewis will beat the behind and the brakes off of any fullback and any tight end and any running back. But Ray Lewis does not shed blocks of offensive linemen. Period. And so if you're going to have Ray be a dominant player that runs 53 and a third yard side to side, you got to keep Ray Lewis clean. So I would say if you, yes, sir. And if you look at Ray's ability to dominate a game, it was in an inverse proportion to the guys playing in front of him, right? The best guy to ever help him out was Haloti Ngata, right? Haloti Ngata out of Oregon was the best guy. Well, and before that, it was Sam Adams in Syracuse. And you had to keep him clean because if you didn't have a center or guard scooping or working up to Ray Lewis will destroy the running game and maybe the short passing game. Anyway, that's my take on that. Listen, Seau's an amazing player. Incredible motor. Incredible attack, run, and hit. Incredible. He can shed any fat lineman. Okay, the other guy is Derek Brooks. Warren Sapp said he thought Derek Brooks was the fastest football player he'd ever seen. They were in a scrimmage in high school, the Florida-Georgia All-Star game. And it was back when my man Warren Sapp was playing tight end. And he said he seen a missile coming by his head. Woo! And it was Derek Brooks, man. Listen, Derek Brooks, the first 4 games of his senior year at Florida State, he outscored the opposing teams as a defensive player. You guys understand that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that guy's special. You know, everybody always wants to talk about something. Sam Weiss drafted Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks. And I don't know about John Lynch. I think John Lynch was maybe the year before. I'm not sure. But, you know, let's give that guy a little credit. You know what I mean? Like, those are great players. And I just think Ray's a different guy. And I think the thing that made Ray a different guy was where he came from. I mean, his grandma, me and Paul talked about this the other day. His grandma his mom or whoever, I think it was his grandma, dropped him off on the steps of Miami Coral Gables with 2 white T-shirts and 1 pair of jeans and $20 in food stamps.
And a pack of
in the same year, you know what he said out of his mouth at 17 years old? By the time I leave here, I will be the greatest hurricane of all time. Listen, is it prophecy to say that? Is it greatness to say that? What kind of young man has the balls to say that he's going to be the greatest player ever at University of Miami where they have Michael Irvin? Who's going to say that at 17? Unless you know somewhere that you are truly the greatest. Come on now.
You got to believe it first before you see it. He believed it before he saw it.
Hey, and did you see the reverence that he had when Singletary came to him? One of the greatest pieces I've ever seen by any NFL films is when they have Rex Ryan and Marvin Lewis and John Harbaugh and Mike Singletary, and they have all those guys sitting around a table. And they're speaking about one man's greatness, and that's Ray Lewis, man. And they're talking about how each one of them helped him develop and how he, as a player, helped them develop as coaches. And it's amazing to hear Mike Singletary talk about when he walked into the room with Ray. And Ray's like, I want all of it. I want all of it. Give me everything. Right? And we mentioned Dick Butkus, y'all. Hey, Dick Butkus, where would he play today? Amazing. He'd be a 3-tech. Let's be real. Dick Butkus would be a 3-tech. Do you agree, Howard?
You know, I'm a Ray Lewis fan, so it begins and ends there for me. Yeah,
I mean, Dick Butkus might be a D lineman, you know, because the days of true linebackers are over with. I mean, this is such a passing league. You don't have guys taking on ISOs. You know, you have it's basically a passing league. You know, look at this guy right here. I mean, this next guy on the list, he probably would have been a linebacker if he played during that time period. Defensive tackle, Aaron Donald. Howard Schotzky. Is he the greatest defensive tackle of all time?
Yeah, I would have to say so. Aaron Donald is a hell of a player. He can do it all.
Let's see who else they ranked. Aaron Donald got 39 out of 50 votes. That's 78%. Joe Green got 5. Deacon Jones got 3. Alan Page, John Randall, Warren Sapp only got 1. Jay Freeman's shaking his head. He's rolling his eyes. Jay Freeman is a little fired up about this one right here.
Howard,
of all time.
Hey, so I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm driving around. I should be probably, home, but I'm driving home from this youth football thing we did. And I'm thinking about today. I'm thinking about right now, Howard. I'm like, man. And I'm thinking about my man from the Rams, right? I'm trying to think about him and by way of Pittsburgh. And I think about, he reminds me of a John Randall type player. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what he is. He's a rolling ball of butcher knives. You can't touch him. You know what I mean? And I always love it to debate people about whether or not you flip your hips as a pass rusher. I love talking about that to people, because you got people that say, oh my God, you don't flip your hips at all. You just run. I'm like, yeah, if you look like a power forward in the NBA, you just run in a freaking hoop. Fine. But if you're a short guy, that's the thing. Aaron Donald is not very tall. Okay. What is he? What is he really, Howard? How tall is Aaron Donald really? Yeah. Yeah. He's not 6'4". He's not 6'3". He's not even 6'2". He's probably barely 6 foot tall, okay? But his movement skills and his reaction, I'd call him a hands rusher, right? When you put your hands on him, he's a live wire, baby. I call those guys shapeshifters. When you touch him, he's going to bend and mold and conform to your body, and there's no space, right? I mean, think about how he hugs up on blockers. If you touch him, it's almost like you're watching some kind of horror movie of some kind of blob or something. He's going to actually move up your arm or move past you. I mean, and he's driven, right? I mean, when we look at people on this list, you can't just be a great physical talent. Like Aaron Donald didn't dominate the league because he was a great physical talent. He was quick and twitchy, right? And he was strong as an ox by his work ethic in the weight room. But his knowledge of hand skills, rush techniques, to be able to read offensive blocking schemes and how people were attacking him, I mean, that's the only way you can dominate the way he did and overcome blocking schemes. Would you agree, Howard and Troy? I mean, in the last 5 to 7 years, the blocking schemes that he saw were probably as intricate as anything we've ever seen. And he still couldn't be stopped, right? Anyway.
I mean,
go ahead, y'all.
I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. But like this next one, I think they got this wrong, because there's guys that are backers that play off the ball in the middle. There's guys that are backers that play off the ball outside, and there's not many of those guys anymore because they're DBs now. But then there's like pass rushers that play on the edge, but then they don't put defensive end. Like, there is a true defensive end position, and those guys are Michael Strahan and Reggie White and Bruce Smith. So to put edge rusher Lawrence Taylor and then put Reggie White, who never dropped into pass coverage, Bruce Smith, who never dropped into pass coverage, J.J. Watt, that really never dropped into pass coverage, and to leave Michael Strahan off this list. I think there's such a position as defensive end, and then there's an edge rusher. I think Reggie White and Michael Strahan and Bruce Smith are more than just edge rushers. I think J.J. Watt is more than just an edge rusher. Lawrence Taylor is whatever you want him to be. I mean, he played nose guard at the University of North Carolina, Tar Heels. Howard Shotsky. I know you think that Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player of all time, and you have his autographs, but for Reggie White to have 8 votes, Bruce Smith, J.J. Watt, and Michael Strahan isn't on this list, how do you feel towards ESPN about the New York Giants' Lawrence Taylor being classified as an edge rusher, and so is Reggie White of the Philadelphia Eagles, Bruce Smith of the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, I agree exactly with what you said. They play different positions, so it's not really an accurate comparison.
Hey,
Yes,
you know what I
Jay.
mean? I agree 100%, and I get fired up too. And I think it's funny because I think people that really are historians of the game, you're cheating everybody to say edge, because think about Lawrence Taylor. Like, if you want to watch Lawrence Taylor, watch him. He's got a highlight film of the running game on YouTube that's just as good, if not better, than anybody. He recreated the position of outside linebacker, rush outside linebacker. He created a new position in the NFL that had never been that way before. If we were going to go back to the old hog days of the Redskins, right, and we were going to say, oh my God, I got to block this guy, what'd they say, right? I started with a tight end or back, and then I put a tight end on him.
Johnny Warren,
right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were trying to find a way to block the guy. And he made offenses change how they picked up outside backers. And Reggie White, these guys are so disrespectful. Hey, let's be real. This is straight disrespect. And this, what I would almost say, is the dumbing down of the football fan. Can we be real about that? To say they're all an edge is a joke, right? What's the deal about Bruce Smith and Reggie White? You can play him against any offensive lineman, right? Line him up on every guy, right? And what did Reggie White used to do to people? He'd grab the snap hand of the center, right? He'd grab the snap hand of the center, and the guy couldn't get off, right? I mean, and Bruce Smith, y'all, listen, if you ever want to see what terror looks like, it's Bruce Smith tilted on a center, snap hand. Come on, man. That's what, I mean, no, listen, LT can do anything. LT can rush from the inside, outside, inside back, or whatever he needed to do, right? I mean, Lawrence Taylor was better hurt than most people were healthy. But it ain't the same as Strahan and Reggie White and Bruce Smith and even J.J. Watt. Those are different cats. Those are cats that can, do whatever they want to in the history of the game of football. And Lawrence could too now. Lawrence could drop out to the flat and pick the ball off against the classic 49ers and take it back to the house laughing, right? Lawrence could do anything he wanted to do. But I would argue that we're being misrepresented. The people are being misrepresented as to what greatness is if Reggie White and Bruce Smith are not at the top of some kind of list. You agree, Troy Taylor and Howard?
Yes, I totally agree. And I have up here now, I want to look at the top 10 defenses in NFL history.
I like that one.
The top 10 defenses, yes, in NFL history. Let me see if I can get this thing set up.
Hey, Howard.
Probably got too many windows.
Howard, what would you say is your favorite position? Like when of all football, like what do you love the most? Like if you were gonna watch film of a player or something, what would you want? Oh man, let me see what this guy is. Like when the draft is coming, who makes you excited to see? What kind of position group is your favorite?
I like pass rushers.
Oh yeah,
because if you can get to the quarterback, you're going to make money.
Howard, it's so funny you mentioned that. Somebody I've really enjoyed recently is JPP. I've always loved some JPP. And maybe that's my Florida connection. I had a bunch of kids that were Haitian I just call him the Haitian nation. But there's something about that dog, man. I mean, you get part of your hand blown off from fireworks, and you're still in the Super Bowl, and you're still making those kind of plays. I mean, you gotta love the guy, you know.
Number 10. Number 10 on the top 10 defenses in NFL history. Number 10. It's kind of suitable. It's kind of suitable that we have Lawrence Taylor up here. Number 10 is the 1986 New York Giants. How do you feel about that, Howard? You remember the 86 Giants. They were some bad hombres.
You already know how I feel about it. Number 10 is way too low for that.
Hey, that's a great group right there.
How do you feel?
Oh, hey, well, I'm glad they mentioned that group. I mean, I agree with Howard. It may be higher, you know what I mean? And what are we talking about, right? Like Leonard Marshall, Jim Burt, hey, Carl Banks, Gary Reasons, hey, Harry Carson, bro. Hey, you know what's funny about time is 20 years ago, and even 30 years ago, we wouldn't say any conversation of great linebackers without mentioning Harry Carson. But how soon do people forget what greatness is like? How soon do they forget, man? That guy was the class of linebackers for a while, Harry Carson. And then you had LT on the outside, right? And then, you know, and let's be real, those guys were amazing, bro. Like you watch them play. The 86, let's be real, the 86 Giants, well, did they have to get past the 85 Bears on the way there? You know what I mean? Like, right? Am I right, Howard? Didn't they have to be the Bears on the way there again? And the Bears, hey, the Bears hadn't fallen off that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were still that same defense. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, that's a physical-ass group, man. You know, and people don't understand. People don't understand what we're talking about. When you got Banks on the strong side, fresh out of Michigan State University, and that guy was drafted, let's be real, that guy was drafted by that defensive brain trust to fill that position. He was the perfect complement to LT on the other side. He was the perfect complement. And that let Reasons and Harry Carson just feast inside. Because Jim Burt was out of University of Miami. He was a strong little fella, and he kept him clean. Anyway, sorry, I thought it was a great defense. They beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
It was a great defense. Wow. And I'm looking at another list, and this other list has the 1986 Giants at number 8. At number 8. So maybe this list is more valid. I don't know which one is better. The best defenses of all time, page 2.
I think it all
depends
who you ask, and also there's going to be some bias, you know, due to age. People like the guys that they've seen play better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've now figured out Coach Jay Freeman's favorite phrase.
What?
You haven't figured it out yet?
Hey. I don't know.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
I always say there's keeping it real and keeping it realer. There's two different levels to that.
Jay Freeman can't evaluate a player without saying, let's be real.
Okay, number 10, 1986 New York Giants. Number 9 on the list, the 1991 Philadelphia Eagles, having lost quarterback Randall Cunningham to a knee injury for the season in week 1. The 1991 Eagles defense banded together and led the league in both passing and rushing yards allowed. A loss to the Dallas Cowboys late in the season prevented this team from making the playoffs. Tragically, defensive tackle Jerome Brown died in a car accident in the offseason, and the defense was never the same.
Go ahead,
what do y'all think? Howard.
Go ahead, Howard. I'll go next. These guys are fertile ground for talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, this is not one of the defenses that immediately comes to mind to me when we're talking about the top 10. But looking back in retrospect with some of the players they had, you know, I think they deserve to be on the list, but maybe not before some other defenses.
Because they never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what I would say is sometimes we only get to see truly great combination of players for a short time. And I think this is one of those things. I think this is somebody who was really doing their homework a little bit. And maybe this isn't even a statistical thing, or maybe it's a 1 year statistical thing. But what it really was, y'all, let's be real, is I was talking. Oh, did I just say it again? I'm really sorry. I'll never say it. I'll stop.
No, you
That's all right. You can say it, man.
No.
Everybody's
But,
got
hey,
their own little quirks and ticks. I got mine.
Okay, wait. All right, but yeah, it's all good. But so I want to say I think there's a guy named Clyde Simmons, and he was a player. There was Reggie White. Okay, so opposite of Clyde Simmons was Reggie White. Okay, and then inside was Jerome Brown, and Jerome Brown died in a car accident with his I want to say his cousin or his nephew, and it was a terrible tragedy. But listen, that guy was special. He was as good of an athlete as a big man inside as the history of the world. He was that special. He was smooth and fluid. And when you saw him from afar, you thought he was just a physical force, like a incredible, maybe he had, but you heard him be interviewed and you listened to him and you saw his leadership at Miami. That's one thing people didn't miss on those old Miami Hurricane teams is it wasn't just great players. Jimmy really had those guys develop as great people. And the media never got that from afar. But anyway, but then listen, there's another cat in that mix, which is named Seth Joyner. And Seth Joyner, for a short period of time, was, dare we say, the best strong side backer in football, combining coverage, run stoppability, and everything else. And those guys just have it. I always say defense is like a cherry pie, right? You got to get the cherries, you got to get the filling, and you got to get the crust. You got to bake it. You got to let it cool in a little wire rack. And then if you ever notice, it's like spaghetti from the fridge the next day. The longer those ingredients got a time to meld together, the longer they got to kind of set together, the greater they become. And I'd say that defense had the ability, if they had all stayed together, if Jerome Brown and I hadn't died in that accident, we would more people would know who they were because it was a great collection of talent, I'd say. But I agree with Howard.
Number 8.
They did, yeah.
2008 Pittsburgh Steelers. Dick LeBeau's finest defense. Let me read the rest of this. Dick LeBeau's finest defense led the league in yards and points at just 13.9 per game. A 99-yard interception return for a touchdown by James Harrison. He's a chip on the shoulder guy. Right before halftime in Super Bowl XL111 proved to be the difference in the Steelers' victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Look at that freakazoid with the chip on his shoulder looking to rip your head off. James Harrison there in the background. Jay Freeman, I see a smile from ear to ear on your face. How do you feel about James Freeman or James Harrison?
Hey, listen, have you seen him at like 40 years of age or whatever? I don't know how old he is now. Pushing a hip sled. Listen, y'all. Pushing a hip sled with 1,600 pounds on it. You know what I mean? Like, and the guy's incredible. I mean, and you talk about chip on the shoulder. Like, how many times did he have to fight to get to where he was? I mean, that's the thing. Like, how many times was he told no? How many times was he cut? How many times was he treated like a practice squad guy? Like he had to get the come up. And if you look at Pittsburgh, right, you know, again, they have a tradition of backers going back, you know, to obviously the Steel Curtain and Lambert and Ham and and Bill Berge and all these other guys, right? But it's not that way. I mean, Bill Cowher established his own position of dominance there at linebacker for the Steelers, and then look at Greg Lloyd, right? And then on the crazy guy with the blonde hair on the other side, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, think about the tradition, and then he was a part of that tradition, and he, like it's hard to put into words. I mean, when you have a guy like that who was able to make that play at that time, and that was the deciding factor. That was the factor that won the game and beat that quarterback. Hey, wasn't Scott Peters the dang offensive guard for that team? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Like, I mean, dude, that one play, I think really got the game for. That was the big factor. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Howard?
I can't
That's
argue.
Troy. That's Troy Polamalu too.
Yeah, I mean they had a great defense there. So I think everything Jay said was spot on.
At number 7, Totem Pole Nation, we have a comment here. Tyree Howard. Urlacher was the best middle linebacker. Urlacher has the best hairline. He has such a good hairline that Dion Sanders bought the same one. But Tyree, we love Urlacher, but we respect your opinion, and this is for you, Tyree. Brian Urlacher out of New Mexico.
Safety.
Number 7 on the list. The 1972 Dolphins, coached by Bill Arnsparger. Jay Freeman's still smiling. He is still smiling talking about these defenses. Why does this make you smile so much?
He likes those Florida teams.
No, I just like defense. I like defense in general. You know what's funny? People say, what's your favorite team? My favorite team is the current team that's built through the draft. I love to watch people build through the draft. I love to see young talent come together. I love to see, people build a great team on either side of the ball. But, I was, my dream at a certain age was to be a defense coordinator. And I studied it like nobody's business, right? And that defense, they called that, is that called a no-name defense? Because it was a collection of no-name talent. And we were talking the other day about Nick Buoniconti. And Nick Buoniconti grew up to be a great businessman, a successful businessman. And he had been up in New England and had some success up in New England before. And then that was one of the acquisitions that Shula made to try to strengthen that defense. And he brought him in and put Nick Buoniconti in the middle and surrounded him with a lot of talent. I mean, one of them was Baumgartner, I think, up front on defense. And there was a joke about him where they said he was the only guy that he couldn't get the damn knee-high socks past his calves. The guy was so massive, right? But, Shula became known later as an offensive coach, right, and stuff. But, he was a hard man. Shula was a hard guy. I mean, that 12-minute run that he was famous for, that was his own deal. He'd go out and run it himself with the players and kick some of their asses. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough dude, man. Hey, I was thinking about you, Howard, and this is a perfect opportunity. I'll shut my mouth. Is when you were talking about sleeping down in the basement for 4 hours and going upstairs and sleeping on the couch. You know who I thought about was Mike Curtis, the great Mad Dog Mike Curtis out of Duke University, the converted fullback. And you know what Mike Curtis used to say?
Didn't Mike Curtis play for the Colts?
Yes, sir. And you know what he used to say? He'd say, and this was Bill Curry. You know Bill Curry?
Yeah.
Right? From Georgia Tech fame, right? And he was a player. He was a center, right? So he said he was Mike Curtis's roommate, right? And he said this. He goes, oh my God. He goes, Mad Dog Mike Curtis would grab the side of the bed. He'd say, I'm going to sleep for 6 hours. and he would like bear down and he would sleep for 6 hours. But I was thinking about you, Howard. Howard's like, I got to go to the dentist later. If I don't get my beauty sleep, I'll be grouchy as hell. And so you were like getting sleep. And I was thinking about Mad Dog Mike Curtis. There's Howard, man.
Sorry. I do not enjoy the dentist.
Well, hey, what was that movie, man? Hey, you guys know Les Brown, the motivational speaker, Les Brown?
Yeah.
You know, he's a famous guy. Les Brown told a funny ass story. Can I digress one more time? And he goes, he said he seen that movie. It was with Dustin Hoffman where some Nazi guy is torturing somebody with a drill, like a dentist drill. And he said he seen this movie and it was just the sound of the drill, you know, the high pitched sound. Can
you please stop that? You're making me more anxious now. I don't like this story. You can tell this story on a day where I don't have to go to the dentist.
All right. I'll stop. Sorry.
I don't want to hear the sound.
One thing that'll make an Indian cry.
If I hear the sound, we're gonna have a problem because all they want to do is look and make sure that this thing is healed before I get the implant put in.
Don't find something else wrong.
If we hear the sound of a drill today, that's going to be a fucking problem, just so you know. And since you brought it up, if I now hear the sound of a drill today, just so you know, it's your fucking fault.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
It's your fucking fault now.
Just asking for a lollipop on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, beautiful receptionist, can I have a lollipop?
Forget Elizabeth. Good morning, Coach. Troy, Howard, and Jay.
I will take an extra one of those needles with whatever the hell they put in there to make you numb.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, you feel great when you leave the dentist, and you're like, man, they really got everything taken care of. And then about an hour later, that numbing stuff wears off, and you're like, oh my God, what did they do to me? I'm in so much pain.
Yes, tell them you want night.
Elizabeth is in the house.
All right, number six, and we're done. We'll go over the top 5 tomorrow. 1962 Green Bay Packers.
Oh my God!
I was born in 64, so I can't comment on this one.
You can't comment, but Jay Freeman, Howard Shotsky, you made me so happy today when you said you were impressed with Jay Freeman's football knowledge and IQ. And I know that is validation from somebody that knows what they're talking about. Rebecca said, my 4 dogs are laying all with me. There you go, Rebecca. That's the small things in life. Coach Jay Freeman, the 1962 Green Bay Packers.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because Coach Troy Taylor and Coach Jay Freeman and amazing Howard Shotsky, I believe we've all been given a measure of our blessings and a measure of our success in our lifetime through the game of football. And we're all respectful and love the game of football and for what it's done for us. And if we look at these Green Bay Packers, I mean, you know, like my high school coach was from Massachusetts and he played for University of Massachusetts, even though I'm from Florida. And he was a disciple of Vince Lombardi. And he was a math teacher. He was a great man. His name was Tom York. He was all Yankee Conference 2 years in a row. And you know what he used to do? He used to stand in the front of the classroom and lecture his math class, and he would make pock marks in the board with a chalk because he was drumming home those points. Pop, 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 pop. Well, listen to me. Hey, who made Vince Lombardi? And I would argue that it was the monks and the sisters and the nuns that taught him in his education, in his fine Jesuit Catholic education, because Vince Lombardi wanted to go into the ministry. Vince Lombardi thought he was going to be a preacher, a priest. And I'll tell you something right now. Yes, sir, Troy Taylor. Hey, I got 2 first cousins that are Southern Baptist preachers in South Carolina. And I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of coaching and preaching is the same. And those guys in Green Bay, they had a pretty good preacher in their dang team. That guy was devoted his life to the game. And he was a genius. And he was a motivator. And he loved those guys more than anything in the world. Right? And he poured his love into them. He poured it into them every day. And he whipped their butt. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you study Lombardi would run them guys. He liked to condition before practice even started. Because he liked to dog them out and make them practice tired. Make them have to do everything with tired legs. He would smoke their butts at the very beginning. Right? But anyway, the point I'm saying about that defense is the offense got all the love, right? The offense got all the love. But the defense was, can we say, ahead of its time? I mean, in the same way as the offense. The offense was an easier thing to kind of quantify because of the idea of the sweep and getting the pulling guards out in front and the precision of it. You know, we got a seal here and a seal here, and we're gonna run the ball in the alley, right? You know what I'm saying? That's hitting the chalk on the chalkboard. That's Vince Lombardi. Is we're going to run it and run it and run it and run it. And then I don't care if you know it's coming. We're going to run it again. Right. And so I think you see the echo of that. But on defense, he had some special players. Right. I mean, you know, we neglected it a little bit, but we mentioned it. Ray Nitschke was a scary dude, bro. Yeah. Ray Nitschke was tall and long and had a little snaggletooth in his mouth. But Ray Nitschke could run and hit, baby. Ray Nitschke was an athlete. He could run and stroke you, man. He could roll those hips and attack. And then listen, I gotta apologize because sometimes I forget names, especially when we get back to 62. But there was some defensive backs in there that are in the Hall of Fame. And I want to say Herb Adderley. Is that wrong?
No, that's
wrong. And there's another guy that's like a safety. And he was a killer. And there's another defensive lineman. I'm talking about there's Hall of Famers. There's 4 Hall of Famers on that team. There's a corner, a safety, a middle linebacker, and also a defensive end. And they were all prototypical of their position. And I really apologize. I can't think of the guy's name right now. There's an African-American defensive end. And guys, listen, I don't want to be weird, but this is football history, right? We're sitting here as football historians, and we're broadcasting about football history. Do you guys know that there was a gay player, there's a homosexual player that Lombardi had in Green Bay in the 60s, and he was out of Montana, okay, and he was a running back, and he was extremely talented, and Lombardi had him there and defended him. And gave him a real shot in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what was Lombardi's deal in the bar? Hey, what was Lombardi's deal when you were going out drinking at the tavern, at the place?
Bar. You can never sit at the bar.
Why?
Because you sit at the bar to get drunk.
Yeah, and you're representing the Green Bay Packers. And it's one thing to go out and have a drink at the table, but then don't go sit there and show everybody else that you're getting drunk. That ain't a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Do you know how long? Hey, listen, one more thing before we go. It's the greatest coach, right? How long was he happy, Troy Taylor?
Never.
Wait. How long? No. How long was he happy? No, this is a real thing because we've all know about coaches.
Party with his wife and they got drunk. I don't know.
No, but I'm talking about how long did it last? From the victory. No, I'd say it was probably about 3.5 hours.
Okay, yeah.
That he would have, the joy would descend upon him, and he would pat you on the back, and he would have a cocktail, and he would be happy, and they were smoking on the veranda, and everything's good. But then about 3.5 hours, what's going to happen? There's something else going to settle, and it's going to the next opponent.
There's always another head. There's always another season, and coaches are trained to just start thinking about the next one.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
The next one's coming.
Life lesson. What's the life lesson for today Howard Schotsky. Don't go to the dentist.
I think the lesson for today is if you want to be able to get on a list like this in whatever your profession is, it takes not only talent but a lot of hard work.
Ooh.
And the guys that we're talking about are guys that were not only great football players, but they took the time. You know, one thing I'll never forget about Ray Lewis, he was constantly watching film. And Jamie Sharper and I would occasionally go over to Ray's house. And I'm telling you, Jay, there wasn't one time that we stopped over there that my man wasn't in the freaking dark watching film. And I don't care what time of year it was, what time of day it was, that MFer was watching film. And that's Ray Lewis when he was at the top. So the guys at the top continue to put that work in. That's why they stay at the top. So I think the lesson we can take away from it is no matter what your job is, you got to put that work in.
Love it, Howard.
You feel the same.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I love it, Howard. I love to hear stories like that because there's so much beauty in that. Hey, an overnight success that burst upon the scene has probably been toiling in the dark for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's not such much thing as an overnight success, right? Hey, what's old Lou Holtz quote, man, about luck equal preparation meets opportunity, right? If you're grinding every day, waiting for that chance to come, waiting for that door to open, and when it opens, you burst through it. That's different than sitting on your heels and, man, maybe one day something will happen for me. No, man, you got to make it happen. And I'd say this, you guys, and it's a hard thing to say in 2024 or whatever, especially when we know we have to have mental health for each other. We have to love each other. We have to take care of, we have to do all these things. Guys, listen, every one of these people, they were all obsessed. They were all obsessed. And I would say the work-life balance was probably poor for all of them because you know what I mean? But at the same time, I would say that they were all, that's what greatness is. Like I say, to know what greatness is, you got to be really, really, really good. You got to be in the conversation. You got to know what it means to work at a certain level and to dedicate yourself to something. And all the people around you look at you and shake their head and say, well, I don't want to go there. No, thanks. Because it's lonely. Hey, there's something lonely about being great at something because most people, they don't get there. Right. And that's a scary thing. That's not a sexy thing or a happy thing or anything like that. I mean, that's a different thing. And that's why, what do we say? The path is very narrow and rarely trod upon because it is a narrow way to go. Right. You know what I mean? Not everybody can get there. And that's the people we explore on this show today and finish tomorrow, right? They're people that are about greatness.
Yeah, we're going to talk about top 10 defenses tomorrow. It's just leading us from one thing to another, life lessons. Yes, we love y'all. St. Pete Rejuvenate, thank you.